Now I shot said video of a light in a warehouse that had been abandoned in place. Well, this is said light fitting. Well, little did I know that 2 weeks after I shot said video of it first half, I did not realise I'd be getting it into my grubby hands. So yeah, quite a big light once it's down on the ground, and they don't make them like this anymore. Literally nothing in where this light was located exists anymore, apart from the conduit box that was mounted to originally. Everything else, including conduit and wiring, which was only a 3 metre length of conduit, was removed and sent for recycling, pretty much. It is what it is. So, the history on this light fitting is that it was manufactured in 1951, installed in 1952, and was abandoned in place in the early 80s. And then in the early 90s, all but a few were removed and basically disposed of and replaced for a different style of lighting system. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's progress at the end of the day, or evolution, whatever you want to call it. Considering this light fitting is 71 years old, it is in remarkable shape thanks to the build-up of dust over the decades. The paint on this is immaculate, apart from the front. It's even saved the sticker. You don't see that anymore. Made in England. The dust comes off quite easy, but you need like a broom, a soft broom, and it will come off. Like I say, that's decades worth of dust, that is. So this light fitting does need a bit of TLC to get it going again, but once it's got the TLC, it'll work just fine. Now you notice that this one's missing its lamp. I'll get onto that later. It was unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is going to clean up. This is just dust, as you can see. I'm going to clean up the lamp holder as well, because I plan on using that again. And yes, that is a bolt. But apart from that, it should be good to go soon. And like I say, it even comes with the conduit spout, lid, and a bit of conduit, so you can't complain. So you're probably saying, well, where's the lamp? Well, like I say, we had a bit of a whoopsie. And this fitting does need a bit of TLC in the top half, which I'll get onto shortly. But one thing to note is this light fitting between the 40s and 60s, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a bit later. Anything that was painted in that era was known to have lead-based paint. So if you're messing around with things like this, just be mindful. So yeah. So to undo the terminal cover on this light fitting, undo this thumb screw all the way as far as it can go. Push it in. Can be a bit of a struggle sometimes because it is everything's a bit stiff. And then it just hinges off like that. Now there is something missing on this, and like I say, I'll get onto that shortly. The wiring on this is tinned copper, so it's either tinned with zinc or alley. For the era that this light is, I was expecting it to be wired in either cloth or VIR, but the conduits actually preserve the wiring very, very well, which is impressive. So, this thing, I was wrong about my guess. That is not the connections to a ballast. It is literally the lamp holder on the other side of this thing. This thing does not have a ballast. It's ballastless. And this thing, well, you can see where the thing rim was, but it was packed, not just lightly full. It was like it was pushed in and compacted. It was full of stuff. Like I said, there was a cork gasket over this, around the rim, that had unfortunately disintegrated. So, as you can see, 2 wires. But how does it get its earth? Well, I will explain that shortly. Okay, I'll quickly just show off the numbers on this actually before I forget. Like I say, I was literally getting ready to power this thing up, as you can see by the way it goes on the end of the cables. But as I was doing so, the lamp actually fell out and detonated itself, and I'll show you what's left of it. Before I do, I thought I'd just show you why I've only got 2 cables instead of 3. Well, this is the very old way of doing it. It's not very commonly done now. It's mainly wired with an earth, but this is, like I say, the old school way of doing it. So what they've done is they've wired the conduit from the fuse board throughout the whole of the run, and then it just stops. But they're actually carrying the earth from the distribution board through all the containment, and it carries on through because everything's threaded. Even this is threaded into itself, which is then threaded into the light fitting, and it has threaded screws which go into said box as well. That is the old way of doing it in conduit and metal trunking systems. They used commonly the containment as earth. That's how this fitting would have been earthed, and yeah, it was actually quite good that we could get the spout lid and original conduit. This conduit isn't metric, it is imperial. Was it? Yeah, because we use metric, but they used to use imperial back then. So this would have been their equivalent size to a 20mm conduit, which is, in today's size, this is about, I think it's about 17 or 18mm, and it is actually black galvanized, black enamel conduit. This is, and for its age, conduit's not actually aged that that bad actually. It's not as rusted as I first thought, compared to the one that was the outside light. Oh dear, I don't think that had much life left in it. So yeah, anywho's, go over to the what I call the electrical quick connect. As you can see, it's cracked. It's been cracked for a while. So 2-part resin, epoxy resin, will do the job just nicely, and it'll be good to go again. And then the lamp, well, I think if I didn't blow it up, it wouldn't have ran anyway. Really, really corroded connections. This glass is frosted, but that smoky stuff at the bottom, that's indicated that a lamp's given way. And this light fitting would have been rated for 500 watts. Like I say, the light fitting itself is ballastless, and it's and it's mainly because of the lamp. Now, this capsule is a 400 watt metal halide capsule. If you can see the tabs on each side, top and bottom, that had something on it, and that would have been a halogen lamp. What I mean by that is, this one would have had a 100 watt halogen lamp across it to basically self ballast this thing, because this fitting doesn't have a ballast. And that's why some of these lamps are rated for 240 direct mains and some aren't. That's why this one was, and why the equivalent wattage was 500 watts. Because it was 100 watt for the halogen lamp and a 500 and a 400 watts for the capsule. They're hard to get hold of brand new because they are phasing out fluorescence metal halides. I don't think they're doing high pressure sodiums just yet. Don't quote us on it, but the power of eBay, you can get them well easy. Now for those that don't know, if you look up on Google Images and type in 500 watt metal halide self ballasted lamp, you'll see that it'll have this and a halogen floodlight lamp next to it in the same capsule, well, in the same lamp, and that's what they look like. Like I say, this one was frosted glass, and I'd say that this was probably from the 70s maybe, or early 80s maybe, who knows. It was a GE brand, that's all I know. What I'm going to do is soon, I've got a load of other projects to get through first. This is more like a winter job, is to relamp it, clean this thing up internally and externally, repair the quick connect, and I'm actually going to install this thing in here as a display piece, really, because it's not often you get these showing up anywhere, and if they are stupidly expensive. Like I say, for now, oh, I'm going to put it down here and do the other projects first. So, any more questions about said light fitting, let us know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.